oh, well, you haven't slept in 3 or 4 days, you haven't really slept, you've just been up late and smoking weed. But I've got no recollection of that time. I just remember I was smoking weed, having a good time, then I was on the farm on a hot day, and then I heard her say that, and then I was like, oh damn. And then I remember the moment it sort of switched for me. I started, the thoughts started coming in really bad, and then I started smoking more weed. So everything was ramping up, and then I have a break. And then what happened after that was, I just remember getting all these whiteboards, and I was thinking of, oh, what can we do? And then I started doing all these whiteboards. My missus said I was just writing frantically and running out onto the farm and doing all these writings and, you know, just scribble. And still got photos of the whiteboards. And then it was just escalating more and more and more, to the point where, you know, I was just wanting to get out of the house and wanting to get away. And I think I said to my missus I was going to go do some primal screaming because I'd seen it online or something. So I left, and I really needed to let it out, and I was just like, screaming, just really yelling and really feeling it. I came back from that. And then I can remember everything. My stepson Marlon, he came up and he marked me with a pen. And then my brain went like that, and it went, he's marked me. He marked me for something. He's marked me like I was some sort of chosen thing or person. And I thought, oh, you know, he's marked me like that mark, I know, the mark of Jesus or something. And it really switched for me there, and I remember telling my missus, oh, look, he marked me. Marlon marked me. After that, I started moving towards fears. So I had a fear of dogs, and my missus has a really big dog, a Doberman, Marco. And I thought, fuck, I got goosebumps on my neck. I'm going to go up to the dog. I need to go to the dog. Oh, that's all the thing that was happening too. The previous months with me smoking weed, I started to push the boundaries more. So I started to go on heights. I started to go up high. I started, I think at the Mount, I jumped off this rock and swam back from the ocean all the way to shore. I started, you know, climbing up on high things and doing dips on them and thinking it was funny, and, you know, I had no fears. So this stuff started coming into the psychosis part. So I go up to the dog, and I thought, oh man, you know, he starts playing with me. But I thought he was, you know, coming at me, and I was, you know, like running up to him and hitting him. And then it was like I just jumped into this, you know, getting goosebumps, and I got this fear thing going, and I went, oh no, I've got to show that I'm vulnerable to him. And so I jumped on my stomach. I jumped on my back or my stomach, and then I'm outside on the ground just screaming to my missus and her family, saying, help me. And in my head, I was getting hurt by the dog, or the dog was over top of me, and I was screaming out for help. And they sort of walked down and like, what the fuck are you up to? Like, what are you doing on the ground? Fuck's sakes. And they couldn't recognize that I was going through this psychosis thing. Then I decided I was going to take my car, park it on the side of the road, see if I can walk home and get a ride. And I started chucking all the things that I was carrying off me, threw my hat away, threw everything away, like got into the mindset, I don't need anything, I don't need these physical things, I don't need this hat, this means nothing to me, throw it away. This means nothing to me, throw it away. Oh, my shoelace is untied. But I started having all these random thoughts and really deep philosophical thoughts and that were popping into my brain. Just, you know, over your lifetime you hear things or you believe things, or, you know, you have these little beliefs in you and they start popping up. I was walking past all these farmers and I'd parked up my car, put the hazard lights on, walking past all these farmers, and they're just like, I was like, oh, can I get a ride please? And no, I'm working. And then I started thinking, oh shit, they're working. That's really important because, you know, my old man said working is really, nah, I understand, mate. Thank you very much. I won't distract you. But I got into that mindset, like, working? Okay, you're working too. You can't help me? Thank you. To the next one, can I get a ride home please? I need a ride. My car's broken down. Not even broken down. Just put it on, the hazard lights on. And then nobody gave me a ride. And then still walking. And then this random truck pulls up beside me. And it's this dude, bro, and he's in a mesh top. He's got a mesh top on. It's open, you know, it's a button-up one. It's all open. Tattoos all over his body, all over his face. He's got like curly, black, greasy hair. He got these glasses on, like those old school glasses. And he's just like, hey, bro, what's up there? Your truck back there. You need a ride? And I look at him like, oh man, he looks like Vikings or something. Holy, yeah, bro. Can I have a ride, please? And jump in his car, and you know he's looking, you know, if a normal person saw him like around, you know, absolutely terrified of him. But you know, he was there to help me, and I was accepting of any help of any people, and jumped in, and I just thought, yeah. And he straight away hopped in there, and he's drinking Cody's. He's having a skull, and he's like, bro, you want a drink? Cracks the Cody's open for me. I thought, oh, cheers, brother. And you know, we're sharing stories, sharing life. And this other truck comes hooning beside us and asks, what are you up to, bro? Like looking at us like this. And I'm like, oh shit, who's that? He looks crazy. And he's like, oh, bro, don't worry, that's my brother. Nah, all good, bro. Got to give this fella a ride. And then he's like, oh, sweet as, bro. So they drive me back to my missus' house. And I, you know, looking back now, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I told those fellas where my missus' house was and her family home is. They drop me off there, and I take my Cody's inside and I just put it at the doorstep and inside, and I'm like, oh, this happened, and then I think to calm myself down, I thought, you know, I need to smoke weed and I need to, you know, really simmer down now. So I smoke weed again, and then that night is where it all escalated. And I remember I was feeling really panicked. And I was feeling like I had to make a decision on things. Like I was feeling like, oh, I'm not allowed to be with you as a, you know, as a partner to my partner. I was like, I'm not allowed to be with you because I've got all this other stuff going on, and I've got children, and I've got. I know I have to deal with you, but what do you want from me? And I need to. I was just really confused, and things were starting to spiral, go round and round in my head. All my problems were coming to the surface. Everything that I hadn't dealt with in my life was coming to the surface, and then I just made this boom. It was like a trigger went off, and I just bang from my missus' house in her room. So they live out on a farm, live out on farmland, you know, middle of nowhere, and I just boom, my mindset switched on. And the stuff that I was moving towards the fears, I was like, shit, okay, what's the scariest thing? The dark, you know, because my missus left me alone at that point. She had to go look after her boy. And as soon as she left the room, that's when the mindset switched on by myself. What do I do? Bang, straight out into the fields, into the pitch black dark. And I'm just sprinting through the fields, going, holy shit, it's pitch black. I don't care what's in front of me. I don't care what I'm going to step on. You know, I'm running towards the fair. And I was running towards the fair, and sprinting, and I started to hear these voices in my head, and I actually thought Jesus was talking to me. And as I'm hearing these voices in my head, I'm thinking, shit, I've got to do these things that they're telling me. And I saw, it was pitch black dark, and I saw on the horizon, you can sort of see where I was in the country, in the farmlands, and then the main town bit, you can see the light coming from it. And I looked over and I thought, oh, wow, that's Jesus, you know, I've got to go that way. That's the way that I have to go. And it was just lucky I looked to the right and there was a house right there and the bright lights were on. So I thought, oh, I'm going to go that way. So it took me away from going into the bushes, which has saved me for a little bit. So I went that way. I went to this house. And I sprinted up out of the dark, and I jumped up on, I could see people watching TV, and I jumped up onto the deck. Boom! Jumped up onto the deck and then ran up to the sliding door. Bang, 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 bang. I need help, I need help. And these people were in the lounge room watching TV. There was a man there, and I remember the lady's name was Allison, but I can't remember the man. So they're just like in their chairs and they're like, holy shit. Oh, like I remember seeing the look on their faces like, oh my God, just getting an absolute fright, you know, from this. I think I had no shirt on, I think, and then I'm just like banging on their door, and then I'm going in there. Oh, can you help me please? I need help with this and this. And the man just straight away, he's like, just sit down in that seat over there, you know, sit down, what's going on? And so I start saying, you know, because I'm getting all of these rushes of anxiety and my heart is just absolutely pounding. So I'm having these euphoric things happening where I'm facing fear, going into the unknown, facing fear. Then I'm having these really down bits where it's anxiety, my heart races like I'm having a heart attack, my temperature's going up, and I'm just like, oh no. So at this point I think I'm drugged, and I think to myself, holy shit, oh my God, my Mrs. Mum, she's drugged me. She put a drug inside something, she's done something to me, and I've been drugged. That's why she put crack in something. Or the guy that I got a ride with earlier in the day, he put crack into the Cody's can, and I thought, oh no. So I start to say that to the people that I'm with, and they say, just sit down there, we're going to help you. And by this time my missus is going up and down the street in her car. She's looking for me in her car, trying to find me. And I see her, I think I see her, or they say that she's going up and down the street, and I said, please don't let her find me, that she's gonna, you know, her mum drugged me, her mum might have been the one that drugged me, they're bad, I can't go there. And so they're trying to help me do that. And I remember, this is where the tangent started getting like really scary. I remember thinking that the man that was helping me, he had a shotgun in his in the corner of the room. Like there was a gun there, I saw it, but it's normal for people to have guns or on the farm. And I thought, you know, then I had a thought in my head, oh my God, if I move, this guy is going to shoot me, he's going to shoot me. And I remember being paralyzed with fear, absolutely terrified. So anything he said to me, I was just like, holy, okay. And I was just really scared, really fear-based. And you know, when he said, sit down, don't move, because he didn't want me to run around in his house and stuff, I was just like, holy shit, oh, he's going to kill me. Then I thought that he had his wife captive. I thought she was like a slave to him, and because she was in the kitchen doing dishes, and I thought, oh, you know, oh, poor Allison, I'm going to have to help her somehow. And he's down the end of the room doing something, but I don't know, all this time, you know, he's calling the police to come and get me. And then so I'm, you know, my missus is looking for me, I'm telling them not to let her find me. So they say, she's coming out into the house to knock on the door, and that you've got to go hide down in the room because she's going to come find you. And so I go down the room, and I'm hiding, and everything happens, and everything's happening, and I just sit down in the lounge again, and then I just bolt out the door, because I'm having these fight or flight things happening. Bolt out the door, jump over the fence into the farmlands, it's back onto the mission where I have to go to this light. Have to go into the dark, into the unknown, go into the light, and that's where I got to go to get the mission done. The voices are telling me I've got to go there. And he yells out again. I freeze in my tracks because I'm terrified he's going to shoot me. So I'm thinking, holy shit, he's going to shoot me. You come back here, come back now. You've got to jump back over the fence. You can't come back this way because you'll get electrocuted if you come back this way. So I have to walk back around, come back up this way, come back up the top. And this happens 3 or 4 times during my stay there. And I'm just like sitting, you know, and my missus, she ends up finding me. And I'm just like, oh God, I thank God you're here. You know, I know you might have drugged me, or your mum might have drugged me, but Jesus, it's better than being with this guy. Please help me. He's going to shoot me. But by this stage, the police are there as well, which would have been the absolute worst thing that could have ever happened to me was go with the police. I would have been locked up in a cell or put in somewhere that I couldn't get out of. Would have been terrible. But you know, as soon as I see my missus, I go back to being normal. I go back to being cooperative, relaxed, calm, you know, no heart beating, no anxiety. And the guy that owned the house, he's just like, oh my God, he's just all of a sudden switched back into this to normal when you're around. And so it was lucky she got there and found me, and she's sitting there speaking to the police officer to not take me in and not take me to the cells. She's going to take me home and look after me for the night. And so that happens. I hop in the car with her, we go back home, which is probably a couple 100 meters down the road, and now I'm in for the most terrifying night of my entire life, and I'm going to tell you how that all goes on the next episode.